About 2 years ago, I realized that I needed to do something to increase my income. I loved my vocation, and still do, but there was little opportunity for substantial financial growth. I wanted to be able to go on more vacations, and to give my kids new experiences in new and exciting places, and all that takes money. But with my current salary, there was just no way I could see that ever happening. And as they say, if you do what you've always done, then you're going to get what you've always got. I needed to do something different. If you're like most people, working a normal job, you always look forward to your annual raise, and so did I. The thought of working the same amount you always have and getting paid more for it is a pretty nice idea. But the problem with your annual raise is that it really doesn't do much to increase your standard of living, because generally, your raise only helps you to barely keep up with the rising cost of goods. So when your annual raise comes around, it doesn't take long before you're already looking forward to your next annual raise, and so on. Therefore, I'm going to show you several ways to increase your income much faster. And make sure you watch to the end, because the last one won't cost you anything, and while I'm personally doing all of these things, the last one is the one that I really started focusing on 2 years ago to increase my income. You see, the bigger problem with your annual raise is that it only comes around once a year. That's why it's called an annual raise. But what if you could give yourself a raise more often? What if each month you could make more money than you did the previous month? And what if I told you the fastest way to increase your income is completely under your control? We live in a complicated world, but it's actually not as complicated as we often make it out to be. Making money is actually very simple when you think about it. People are paid to do things when other people with money value those things being done and don't want to do those things themselves. So, if you work at McDonald's, the only reason you have a job is because people want cheeseburgers, and they don't want to make those cheeseburgers themselves. And if you work in a cubicle filling out TPS reports, it's because your boss doesn't want to fill out all those TPS reports himself.
Okay.
So the fastest way to increase your income is to find out what people want done that they don't want to do themselves, and do that. That could mean cleaning their houses, or cutting their grasses, or serving their foodses. In other words, the fastest way to increase your income is to get yourself a good old-fashioned side hustle or part-time job. And if you pick the right side hustle, something that you're passionate about, and something that others really want done but don't want to do themselves, it can massively grow both quickly and over time, and it could easily replace your current job. And then, being your own boss, you can give yourself a raise as often as you like, as long as people are willing to pay what you're charging. Yeah! But let's say you're already exhausted after a long day at McDonald's, and you really don't have the energy to work even more at another job. Can you still increase your income? The good news is yes, but it might not be quite as fast as putting in the grind. Instead of working to make more money, you could simply make your money work for you. Instead of letting your money sit in a bank account where it does absolutely nothing for you, and where it actually makes the bank money because they used your money to give people loans, which they make interest off of, you could loan your money directly out to people instead. And you don't need a ton of money to do this. With services such as Prosper.com, you can loan out as little as $25 and receive back $26. That might not sound like a lot, but that's a 4% increase, which far outperforms any bank out there today. Now, this isn't without risk, because it's always possible that the people who are borrowing your money will default on their loans, but their website shows that few people do. Even still, this isn't financial advice. Another option for letting your money work for you is real estate investing. Rather than going the traditional route, buying an apartment building, fixing it up, finding tenants, and fixing things when they break, you can just use a DFY service and it's all done for you. For as little as $10, you can start investing in real estate through something like Fundrise.com. And there's even a link in the description to get some free shares for signing up. Sure, you won't get as high of returns as traditional real estate investing, but you also don't have to do the work. And that's really what you're trying to avoid, right? Hey. But one of the fastest ways to give yourself a raise that won't cost you a dime is simply to stop spending money on things you don't really need. It's incredibly likely that if you were to look through your expenses for the last month, you'd see several things you spend money on that you can cut back on, or even eliminate completely from your life. And for each thing that you can cut out, you quite literally just gave yourself a raise of that amount every single month going forward. You can spend that money on things that you actually do want, or save it for a rainy day, or even start investing via Prosper.com or Fundrise.com. And that brings us to my last tip to increase your income, and the one that I've used to sometimes make an extra $3,300 in 1 month, and that's YouTube itself. Maybe you have no desire whatsoever to be a YouTuber, but you do have a unique perspective on the world, or an interesting ability to do something that others find fascinating. Congratulations, you're a YouTuber. I will say, it's not usually the fastest way to increase your income, but with several years of hard work that pays you next to nothing, it can definitely turn into the fastest way to increase your income. And if you've watched this far, it's clear that you're willing to invest in yourself to increase your income, but maybe you just haven't found the right opportunity just yet. So check out this next video about how I'm starting to make a significant amount of money on YouTube, and how you can do the same. After all, I'm just an average guy.